Living in Heidelberg was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life.
It's a place that people can remember growing up in and being rather happy in, I think.
High school is the unique experience of your life, and you never have that experience again.
Heidelberg's charm has captured the hearts and minds of both scholars and kings. As was once said, should I only have the ability to capture its essence in a tiny bottle, so that I may carry its beauty to wherever my travels lay. The mysterious ruins of the castle, the sparkling waters of the Neckar, and the narrow lanes with cobblestone streets winding through the Altstadt all contribute to Heidelberg's magic. But for many Americans over the last 50 years who have been fortunate enough to see this historic city, Heidelberg became more than just another pretty city on a map.
Hello.
It also became a place they called home. Approximately 400 Heidelberg American High School alumni and their families returned home to Germany in June 1996 for an opportunity to recapture moments from a special time in their lives.
I think it's an outstanding statement about Heidelberg High School that so many of our former students and teachers want to come back. I think it's marvelous.
I think that's great to get people coming back and share their success stories and the places they've been to, and they've been all over the world, and that's really neat.
It's a students' reunion. It's not for the teachers. I mean, if the teachers have to be around, that's great, but it's for you guys to get together. This is your school.
Called the reunion of the century, Heidelberg High School celebrated its 50th anniversary, coinciding with the 800th anniversary of the city of Heidelberg.
This is the class of 53, one of the really great classes.
This is the greatest day of our life.
Wow. Sorry guys, we had to do it this way. Tradition demands it.
It's a little more meaningful. Going back, it's far away, times change, you have a lot of good memories, and because of the military experience where people leave before they get a time to graduate, you have this overlap of years. So the concept of having reunions for more than 1 year seems to be more popular than a stateside situation of just having a 1-year reunion.
The 4-day reunion included activities such as a beer festival in the school gym, a barbecue and sports day at Patrick Henry Village, a boat ride down the scenic Neckar, a dinner at the Molkenkur restaurant, and a romantic evening at the castle. Heidelberg High School's reunion welcomed graduates from as far back as its first class in 1947.
We just had a wonderful year. There were small classes. There were only 9 of us, I think, ever at one time in the senior class. Now, Larry has the distinction of being the earliest graduate. He left before we graduation, so he is really the earliest graduate, and maybe even in Germany. I don't know.
It was a time to see old friends, travel familiar roads, and relive memories created in a different time and in a different world.
The community, Heidelberg community, is really a small town USA. And I believe that many of our students develop relationships here with other students and even with German young people that become very significant to them. And also, it's important for us to remember that many of these students here were born in Germany, or they lived in Germany for most of their lives. And where the heart is, where the tug on the heart is, that's where the person is going to want to be.
If you're an Army brat, you really don't have that roots, I think is what it is. So to find someone that your childhood was with is amazing, and it just brings back floods of memories of, what it was like.
Former students talked, hugged, looked at old photographs, perused coveted yearbooks, and danced until the dawn. In its short existence, Heidelberg High School has developed an intriguing history. As one of 5 American high schools in Germany to have opened its doors in 1946, it is, as of 1996, the only one of the 5 with its doors still open.
The number one thing here at Heidelberg High School has been the students, first and foremost. It can't be the building, and the teachers are important, but it's really, first of all, the students and the families who have supported those students.
It was so holistically different. Sure, we all took English, we all took math and physics, but it was a manner that we took it. It was the mood of the school, the fact that you were in Europe. Sure, you're an American school, but surrounded by so much culture and so much activity. You know, and in high school, you would study German, and then you go out and speak it. You just walk out the front door, walk across the street, and you're speaking German. You're in the German culture. Your experiences went so much beyond the books that it was really incredible.
Heidelberg High was first located across the river on the campus of the University of Heidelberg, the oldest university in Germany. American students from neighboring cities such as Karlsruhe, Stuttgart, and Mannheim resided in dormitories located downtown.
We started over in the old school and then came over here to, in the spring of 52 for only a couple of months. I don't recognize the school at all because it was just newly built. And we shared our girls' school across the river with the Germans.
Between 1948 and 1952, the school moved twice. It was first moved to a German school located downtown, known today as the Bunsen Gymnasium. Knowing that a permanent site was needed for the growing American student population, the United States military constructed a permanent site in a small community near Heidelberg named Rohrbach. Open for the 1952 school year, this site was to be Heidelberg High School's second and final move. Rumor has it that it was originally built as a hospital in case it was needed in the post-war effort. To pay homage to one of the most famous Americans to ever visit Heidelberg, military officials named the community Mark Twain Village, placed the school on Mark Twain Strasse, next to Mark Twain Elementary School. The school continues to play an important role in both the American military and local German community.
Well, the Heidelberg Community High School is an important part of our community. As you know, for over 50 years, Heidelberg has been a key headquarters for the United States Army in Europe.
The reason why you are here is 50 years high school here in Heidelberg, yes, in 1946 to 1996. 50 years, 50 long years.
It's been 19 years since I've been here, and it is a lot like it was then, but it's great to be back and see everybody again.
Everything's changed, but everything's the same. You know, I don't know how else to describe it. The people are all exactly the same. Some new buildings here and there, but really, Heidelberg will never change. 800 years, it's not going to change much.
In the past 50 years, over 15,000 students have strolled through the halls of Heidelberg High. With the passing decades came students with different ideas and different values.
I try and instill a feeling for life, a work ethic, the idea that what they make out of themselves in their lifetime doesn't start 5 years from now, it starts right now, and that every day is something that there is something they can learn, and they should be learning. They should be making an attempt to get the best out of their education they can possibly get out of it.
Heidelberg High School has learned to accept and incorporate these differences into the overall educational process.
I think in everything I teach, I want to instill a love of learning. That's as clearly as I can put it. I love everything about learning. I love everything about books. I love everything about any media. And everything new that comes along is very interesting and exciting to me. And if I could only make it so for them, then I think I've done some type of, if I can make them understand their potential, then I've done what I want to do. That's it. Simple.
I think the teachers and staff are special in this school because they're a total commitment to the student. They work with the student both during the school day, before school, after school, and at lunch hour. They spend a lot of hours with the students and working to move our students forward in their academic goals and life and achievements.
back to Hazel Edwards and the things that she taught us.
We had great teachers when we were here. If you wanted to learn, they were there to teach us.
The teachers were so dynamic and so versed in things outside of the classroom.
They came here and they found they enjoy working with the people in the community, and they enjoy working with the students, and they feel like they're accomplishing something with the students.
While other schools in Europe operating under the Department of Defense Education Activity, formerly known as DODS, have been merged, downsized, and even closed, the enrollment at Heidelberg has grown.
I would say more than the drawdown affecting size is the way the demographics have changed at Heidelberg. Our mix is totally different from when I entered in '84.
Nächste Haltestelle ist Marktplatz.
Schöner Mann, guter Mann, immer trinken hier. Schöner Mann, guter Mann, immer trinken, ja. Der Mann ist Klavier, ja. Noch ein Bier, noch ein Bier. Immer trinken hier. Noch ein Bier, ja, noch ein Bier. Immer trinken hier jeden Tag. Guter Kaffee, Jakob Kaffee, immer trinken hier. Guter Kaffee, Jakob Kaffee, immer trinken hier. Eiskaffee, auch Limonade, alle Bier, mit Jägermeister, immer trinken hier. Der Mann.
Through the years, the German-American alliance evolved from a cautious post-war relationship to one of trust and understanding. It provided everyone an opportunity to experience living within two worlds at the same time.
I wanted to tell you that we were married here in 1952 by the Burgermeister.
Here in this building?
Well, I don't know whether it was this building or not, but by the Burgermeister.
Would it have been here?
In 1952. You had to be married by the Burgermeister before you could be married in the church.
Yeah, that's our system.
Yes.
So you don't need the church, but you have to go to the mass.
The culture, the people, I mean, I had neighbors next door to me that became my best friends. And one of them I'm staying with right now while we're here. And she's like a family to me.
I moved here in 1950. My father was the manager. This was at that time a club for the American civilians and officers, and my parents and I lived right in this building, so I had to be transported back and forth to the high school in a Jeep by the driver that we had here for the club. So my husband, today happens to be our 34th wedding anniversary, and it's very meaningful to be celebrating that here at the Mulkencourt. And
right. We met in Heidelberg High, and I spent a lot of time driving up and down the mountain. Maureen's room was on the back side, her parents' room was on the front side, and there was a little balcony there that I spent some time visiting, climbing over.
Beer for Heidelberg High, you bring the whiskey, I'll bring the wine. Send some freshmen out for gin and don't let us sober sophomore in. Juniors never stumble, seniors never fall. We sober up on wood alcohol. When we yell like hell. For the glory of Heidelberg High.
The experiences I had in Heidelberg were probably the best years of my life. I was raised in Germany, and that's all I knew, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience for me.
The combination of special friends and the charm of the old city created a lasting impression in the hearts of everyone.
We graduated 50. The football team, we had a lot of trouble getting together 24 people to play, and it was a pretty tight-knit organization. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody liked everybody. We got along. It was great.
Well, I came back about 5 years ago to the first reunion, and I really enjoyed it. It was the first time I had been back since I left, in over 20 years. And I come back now. I have a daughter that still lives here, and I enjoy it. This is one of the best times of my life. The kids talk about how much they enjoyed it, and I talk about how much I enjoyed them.
And all the women we didn't get to. Say hi, bye, Mom. This is all wrong. All wrong. Why? Is that in it? We do it.
As with everything, time moved on, and so did everyone's lives. Priorities changed. Attending college, starting careers, and building families became the focal point. Thus, keeping in contact with old friends seemed almost impossible.
Well, I just really like to say, what a great thing it is to have a reunion like this because, we work with some of the greatest kids in America. We come to love them. And then they go away and you never see them again.
I think we all shared something very, very wonderful when we were younger. And that shared experience is, you can continue to build on that as years go on. And looking at our group, and I'm talking 40s, 44, 45, 50 years later, that's stronger. And we have a lot more fun with it. We really do. We can look back and tell stories on ourselves and laugh at ourselves and have a very good time with it.
However, with today's technology, keeping in contact has become easier. Andy Daschel created the official Heidelberg High School website called Lions Web. This virtual Heidelberg community provides alumni the opportunity to return to Heidelberg within seconds.
It's become kind of a reunion in cyberspace that everyone feels a part of. I hope that after the reunion there are a lot of people who haven't discovered it yet who will be able to dial into it and we'll be able to continue this fostering of the community of alumni.
I think what Andy Daschel has done on the web is the most wonderful thing that I've ever seen. I've heard from so many people on America Online and people that have seen it and think it's great, and I think it's going to be really great. I think people are going to be able to keep in touch better, and I think it's a wonderful thing that he's done.
Well, we're here to tell you a story because we didn't know each other in Heidelberg, but we happened to both go to a reunion in 1988 in Hammond, Indiana, and that's where we met each other.
Exactly. We had lived in Heidelberg together at the same time in the early 70s, but didn't know one another. And it was only at a reunion that a friend had sponsored in a small town outside of the steel town of Gary, Indiana, that we did meet. And although we were living separate lives and had separate career paths, things kind of got waylaid when love happened, I guess.
People came to the reunion for many reasons. To see old friends and former teachers, to reacquaint themselves with the city, and to recapture past experiences. As the reunion came to a close, many found it difficult to say goodbye.
Our friend Jim Featherstone, who's no longer with us, and we wish at this time to raise a dedication and a toast in his memory, because he always lived with us in our hearts. He lived the true meaning and the spirit of the words Heidelberg Lion. We just want to say that we love you and we miss you, Jimbo.
This year's reunion was the second European gathering of alumni since 1990. Already plans are in the works for another all-years reunion in the year 2001.
I'm not sure what keeps people so in love with Heidelberg. You know, that thing, I've left my heart in Heidelberg. It seems like everybody does.
I will take away, finally, an attic of memories.
It's exciting, yes. It's action and people I haven't seen in a long time and lots of activity. But really, it's comfort and it's a sense of belonging that I find when I'm here.
Until then, we have our dreams and the ability to play the memories of Heidelberg over and over again. Like the poets, painters, and philosophers who have made the pilgrimage, there is no doubt that once again, the passion of Heidelberg will bring the pride home.
Hat der Mund gelacht, und als wir Abschied nahmen vor dem Tore, beim letzten Kuss, da hab ich klar erkannt, dass ich mein Herz in Heidelberg verloren. Mein Herz, das schlägt am Neckarstrand. Mein Herz, das schlägt am Neckarstrand. Schöner Mann, guter Mann, immer trinken hier. Schöner Mann, guter Mann, immer trinken, ja. Der Mann ist Klavier, ja. Nur ein Bier, immer trinken hier. Nur ein Bier, ja, nur ein Bier. Immer trinken hier jeden Tag. Guter Kaffee, Jakob Kaffee, immer trinken hier. Guter Kaffee, Jakob Kaffee, immer trinken hier. Eiskaffee, auch Limonade, alle Bier, mit jeder Meister, immer trinken hier. Der Mann ist Klavier.